For your next project, you are going to be making a mosaic drawing. And what that is you are going to draw a picture of your choice, something that's somewhat detailed. I took this kind of from the idea of Van Gogh's sunflowers. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw out your picture, whatever you decide to be. So it can be an object, it can be animals, it can be a person. It's completely up to you. So let's just say for the sake of time here, I'm going to make somewhat the same thing that I did before. So I'm going to have my flowers. Now, obviously, you're going to take more time and do some nice drawings here. I'm just for the time frame, I'm going to do it kind of fast. But you're going to do your drawings and fill in your paper. Maybe I'll have another big one here. Okay, so just basics. The only thing I usually say to try to stay away from is don't do just a basic simple object. So don't do like a basketball or just one particular thing. Make sure that it has a lot of different variations in it. Otherwise, it doesn't tend to be very successful. It just kind of looks like a blob. Okay, so if my whole picture was done, what I'm going to do then is I am going to start coloring it. And so you would color it like you normally would a picture. So I would color in, so if I'm going to color in here, I would color in all the leaves of my flower. And I have a thin Sharpie here, but a thicker one probably would be helpful. Sharpies or just Crayola markers. You can use colored pencils or crayons if you'd like. It tends to look a little bit nicer if you use markers. Okay, so we'll say that I have all of that colored in. And so once I have that section colored in, then what you're going to do is, so after everything is colored, you're going to go back in with a regular Sharpie and you're going to go and you're going to outline. And you're just going to outline everything that you drew. Now, some people asked if they can Sharpie and do the outline before they color, and that is absolutely fine. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you like best. Okay. So if I had everything done, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make lines inside of everything that I drew and make it almost look like it's fractured. A mosaic is broken pieces all put together making one big picture. So I'm going to take and I'm going to make lines, and I'm not going to make them perfect. I'm going to make some like crooked and sideways and things like that. I'm going to go through here. Maybe I'll do some a little bit different than others. But the idea is to go through and make those small fractured parts. Now up close it's probably going to look kind of weird, but the idea is when you get it all together, all the fractured pieces together are going to start to make sense. Now, so if I had everything done and I started putting the fractured pieces in, the next thing I'm going to do is take my Sharpie and I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to make those lines that I made just a little bit thicker. And the reason being is because you have so many things going on in your picture, if the lines aren't thick enough, it's not going to show up. And you want to make sure that people can see all of those lines, because that is why we're doing this project. So once we get done with all of that, one of the things that you're going to do is in the background, you're going to just add in fractured pieces. And so you can decide how you want to do it. So you can take a ruler, or you can just if you can draw, if you have a steady hand, otherwise I'd say use a ruler. And then you're going to make fractured pieces behind your object, and they can go in all different directions. But the idea being is it makes it look like your picture was made from a whole bunch of different pieces and put together. Now, the final copy, the idea is that you can see all those different pieces. The background you can color in solid and then go through and do this. If you want to have the background different colors, you can. I couldn't quite decide on what color I wanted to do the background, so I hadn't done that yet. But on every piece, it has those fractured parts, so when it's put all together, you get a really cool finished product. So the requirements are to draw your picture, taking up the majority of the paper. You're going to take and draw something somewhat detailed of your choice, and then you're going to color it, preferably markers, but you can use whatever you have. And then you're going to take and do the different pieces for each of your objects and the background, and then just go over it again with a regular Sharpie just to make the edges a little bit thicker. And then obviously when the picture is completely done, you have this really cool kind of finished project that looks like a mosaic window.